Welcome to the ninth episode of the Illegal Use of Hands to the Face Football Podcast. How you doing, Jake?
I'm doing great, Hayden. How are you?
Tremendous. You ready to talk about some players and where we think they're going to go this offseason?
Yes, I'm very excited. This could probably be the most interesting free agency of our lifetime.
Yeah, it is. You just go through lists and it's like, why are all these guys leaving their team? And then on top of that, you have, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine teams that basically can't spend more than like money on one guy, so because they are already in the negative. So that's cool too.
Yes, I can't wait to see how Kansas City keeps on manipulating the cap so they can just sign more and more guys. I'm very excited to see how they just change numbers, along with some other teams as well, because it just happens for some reason in the NFL where certain teams that win, the numbers just don't matter.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, they'll just find a way to sign 10 more guys this offseason and actually be better than they were last year.
Yep.
What do you what is there sorry actually, is there anything you wanted to talk about with news in the past few days? Nothing's really happened, but there were a few things. Is there anything you really want to touch on?
Nothing really too interesting that's happened. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. FCF, Josh Gordon, he came
Yeah.
into the league and lit the world on fire.
Well, he should be in the NFL, so that's not shocking.
Yeah, but it was against my beast. And
Yeah. 2-2 now. Oh boy, watch out for the Zappers.
on the FCF app, the Beast fans get to vote for what team they want to play against in the playoff game.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I liked it. I saw the notification on my phone when I got out of my classes
Pick,
today, and I was like,
pick
huh.
your opponent. Jeez,
Yeah, I
that's.
get to pick my opponent. I was like, well,
I hope
we're
you
going
don't.
against the Glacier Boys.
I
I'm
hope
voting
you.
the Glacier
I hope you
Boys.
don't lose then.
I hope we don't either. I picked the Glacier Boys because, I mean, they just suck.
Yeah, I know. Ugh, man. All right. Um, would you like me to lead with the teams that I am that we're talking about?
Sure, start us off.
All right. Well, basically, I just got a big run here of all the teams at the bottom that have like no cap like room at all, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say that like nobody I want to mention is gonna sign there. So I have nobody for the Saints. So that's my first group. So do you have anyone that you think's gonna sign with the Saints? That's gonna be
No, no,
noteworthy.
I do not.
Um,
No, I do not.
what about the Rams? I have nobody for the Rams either.
I have nobody for the Rams either.
The Eagles. The Eagles are where we start potentially having an opportunity to sign somebody, maybe
I I didn't
with
have
a
anyone
ton
for
of
the
work.
Eagles. Yeah, it's one of those places where the cap is not in a great spot, and also the team is just garbage at this point.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny looking at the cap numbers and just being like, oh, I would think that the good teams would have high caps and the bad teams would have low caps, but it's like no, that doesn't actually matter. Um, yeah, the next team in terms of cap value is the Chiefs, and they're the last one in my consecutive line of getting nobody. So I don't have anybody going to the Chiefs either because actually, like I say with I get to the Buccaneers eventually, and when I get to the Buccaneers, I say the same thing. I think they're probably gonna spend money keeping guys around rather than spending it on other people. I just don't know what guys they're gonna pay and what guys they won't.
You see, for Kansas City and Tampa Bay, that's where it comes in with the winners. The teams find a way to manipulate the cap. So I have one guy going to Kansas City.
All right, who is that?
That that'd be Trent Williams
Okay.
on a 1 year give me my ring deal.
Oh boy, what if they lose?
I feel so bad. Trent Williams is like 37, isn't he?
Oh no no no, he's not that old. He's like 34.
Oh, I
Yeah.
always think that he's older than he is just because
Well, I mean,
the
he is old
Washington just
still.
put him through the ringer.
Yeah, I mean they just took him and just like, I, Oh boy, what's the ringer? When I think of ringer, I just think of like
Yeah,
a
he's only
towel.
30. He's only 32, and I thought he was way older than that.
Okay, the term ringer, I don't know if this is accurate, but what do you think of when you hear ringer? I think of like taking a drenched towel and like squeezing it to get all the water out of it. Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what
Yeah.
the saying is from. It's
Hey,
the thing they had him back in the day. You just
I'm
put a
just
towel
making
through it and then
sure.
crank a handle.
I'm just making sure because I've never actually known if that was actually what it is. I've always made the assumption, but I had to ask because you're a smart guy. I thought I'd learn from you there. Yeah.
No, I, but I think Trent Williams is gonna go to Kansas City.
Yeah.
He the Kansas City saw how their offensive line just collapsed when they lost one guy on it. And I even think if they would have had Eric Fisher in the Super Bowl, they still would have been not good, the offensive line. So they're gonna find a way to bring him in.
Yeah, well
I think.
they did get demolished on the O-line front in the Super Bowl, so maybe they will. Maybe they'll try it. I just their cap number is low again. Um next lowest team for cap space, again another non-contender but somehow like not having any cap space. It's the Atlanta Falcons. But I think the Falcons are going to make room for one guy. And
And who would that one
and
guy be, Hayden?
and
I
you
think
see
they'll make room for one guy as well.
I think Todd Gurley's going to be gone. Like I didn't know that he was a free agent this year because I don't know what I was thinking the other day, but I was thinking that Todd Gurley had like a multi-year contract that just got moved from the Rams to the Falcons, but actually his contract expires for the Falcons this year cuz he just got cut for the Rams, which I that's not even how I remember it going down, but yeah, that must have happened because he's done with the Falcons after this season. But I want Brian Hill to get more carries, but they're still going to need a second running back, so they're going to go in division and pick up Mike Davis, I think.
Ooh.
Just be like impressed with what Mike Davis has done for Carolina and just be like, yeah, we'll take him because he's putting up pretty good numbers for when McCaffrey isn't playing. I think they could be like, ooh, that's enticing to them.
Yeah, I went defense here with Atlanta's one guy. Uh, their defense is atrocious, and I do agree with you. I want Brian Hill to get more carries because it just seemed like, Todd Gurley, he is the oldest 26-year-old in the NFL.
Yeah.
Uh, and it just was so painful seeing him get carries throughout the season. So I think they go defense, and I think they pick up Bud Dupree.
Hmm.
And strengthen that defense a little bit because I think Bud Dupree should be in the range for them where they need someone that can help create pressure, but they don't have enough money to bring in anyone that's actually gonna be a game wrecker.
You know what's
But Bud Dupree puts up similar stats that like guys of like Melvin Ingram and stuff like that. Not that Melvin Ingram is you know.
Well, you know what's funny about it is that I just like said just pick whoever you want to talk about for this. So I didn't even put Bud Dupree on my list, even though I made like a giant list and it was way too overcomplicated compared to what I thought I was gonna have. Yeah, I didn't even mock Bud Dupree anywhere. I have no idea what's gonna be up with him.
Yeah, I guarantee there's gonna be guys that you have written down that I didn't think of either, so I wouldn't feel too bad about that. It's just when I was thinking about teams, I'm like, but where can Bud Dupree go? And I'm thinking everyone else like I don't really think other teams that are in real win now modes are gonna be like, yeah, let's spend a bunch of money on Bud Dupree. But the Falcons could be like, he could be a solid veteran to bring in and try to uh send a defense out there with him being the leader of it.
Yeah. So, next team got is the Packers. And for the Packers, I think that they'll look at what happened in the NFC Championship game and be like, that can't happen again. And that was Kevin King just getting absolutely cooked, right? I mean, it was one of the corners, but I'm pretty sure it was
Yes.
Kevin King, right? Okay,
Yes.
so they're happy because Kevin King is leaving the building. And instead, the one guy I think they're going to sign is J.C. Jackson to make up for him.
No, I didn't even think of J.C. Jackson, so yeah, right there. Uh, I have one guy going to Green Bay as well. Rodgers. I want to do everything I can, especially after an MVP season, to make Rodgers happy. So unless the Packers feel confident in trading up and drafting another quarterback, I think they should go out and try to sign Corey Davis.
Okay.
Uh, just to get Rodgers another weapon that isn't named Alan Lazard or
Yeah.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
I'm pretty sure when I was looking at this stuff, Lazard is also a free agent.
Oh, so yeah, there you go. You get a better number two.
Yeah, and like you said before, this is gonna be the craziest like free agency ever because there literally are like so many guys like that you mentioned just thinking they're gonna be on the same team next year and they're not. Like if you look at just who's gonna be available from every team, it's absolutely insane.
And it just makes you think of next offseason too, because I can't see Lazard go, especially with how the cap's going to be, going somewhere and getting more than a 1 or 2 year deal.
Yeah,
So
probably not.
Free agency for the next couple of years is going to be kind of wild.
Yeah, no, I don't think many people are going to be signing long-term deals this offseason. Maybe a few, but not a lot. I got one guy for the Bears. That's Russell Wilson. He's getting traded there. He's complaining too much. Seattle's like, get him out of here. Yeah. So I think Russell Wilson's going to the Bears, and there's kind of some other things that I have connected to that point, but I will talk about them when I get to the other teams I have for them.
Okay, I have a quarterback for the Bears as well, but it's not Russell Wilson.
Oh no.
Nor is it Deshaun Watson. There's too much hype about these good quarterbacks going to Chicago. So Sam Darnold's gonna end up there.
Oh, good lord.
I
That feels like a Chicago quarterback, though.
That's exactly why I'm saying it's gonna be one of those. Sam Darnold may be the next Jay Cutler in Chicago, where it's like he's doing good enough where we can't really get rid of him, but we're not gonna get anywhere if we keep him.
Oh boy, yeah.
And just with all this talk, and I saw a tweet today. I can't remember who it was by. I think it was by a Chicago beat writer that Schefter tweeted or Rappaport tweeted, and it was said Russell Wilson to the Chicago Bears is a doubtful pipe dream at this point. I was like, ooh.
And my pipe dream is gonna go through. So sorry. Yeah, no, I don't care if it's a pipe dream. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think all the Chicago fans are gonna get brought back down to earth and be disappointed. Where it's like, Sam Darnold.
Yeah, probably. Oh jeez, that would. Oh, I'm so sorry, Chicago. When that actually happens, that's gonna be so tragic. It's gonna be sad. Okay, next two teams I have are more teams with bad cap situations, but also they're not really teams that seem very enticing to me. So I don't know how much pull they would have on any big guys, and that's why I didn't send anybody to them. But they also have negative caps, so it was like a double whammy. It's like you're not that good and you don't have cap space, much of any, really. And I really don't know how the Lions have no cap space because they literally just got rid of their entire team this offseason. Like, their entire team is leaving. I have no idea where they're going to be spending their money. But
Goff.
Matt Patricia gave out some bad contracts, that's for sure. I mean, you can't only be spending it on Jared Goff with those numbers. It's insane. And also the Vikings. The Vikings, even though they're a weird team that's like supposed to have some like talent on it, like playoffs 2 years ago to no playoffs last year and kind of looking broken and just I don't even know, but they don't have a lot of cap space either for what they produced last year, so we'll have to see what they're doing. But do you have any guys for either of those two teams?
Yes, I do, for Minnesota. Minnesota has been an overlooked team in one trade situation. I think Deshaun Watson's gonna end up in Minnesota.
You think Kirk Cousins goes to the Texans then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I guess Kirk Cousins isn't a guy to complain, so maybe.
Yeah. And Jack Easterby would love him. Kirk Cousins is a God-fearing man that loves his family and his Bible. And that's exactly what they want in Houston. They're building a church. They're building a church for an NFL team, and they need Kirk Cousins to lead that team.
Do we know where Kirk Cousins grew up?
I'm gonna guess in Michigan because he went to Michigan, so I'm always just gonna guess
Whoa,
the state
whoa,
that they went to college in.
whoa.
I'll
Don't,
look it up right
no,
now.
no,
I'll
but
look it up
don't,
right now.
no, but that's not what I'm complaining about. I'm not complaining about the home state. I wouldn't make that assumption that just because he went to college in Michigan,
Illinois.
yeah,
Illinois.
exactly. It's a few states different, but Michigan State is not Michigan, and you're gonna get ripped for saying that. So just be careful next time.
Whatever. He went to the one that Harbaugh doesn't coach.
Yeah, that's a better way of saying it. All right.
But
Next.
no, I'm not done. I'm not done
yes.
with Minnesota yet.
Sorry. Okay.
So
Wait, do you have
Minnesota's
anybody for the
gonna
Lions?
get Watson.
You don't have anybody.
No.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I have
So
another guy for
nobody
Minnesota.
wants to go to Detroit. All right. Just
No one
making
wants
sure.
to go to Detroit. No one wants to bite kneecaps for a living. So they're gonna get Watson, and then they're gonna be. We need to protect this guy because we don't want him complaining up here. So they bring in Joe Tooney. They're gonna pull some
right.
cap gymnastics and bring in Joe Tooney.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it interests me. I mean that offensive line. I don't know. I mean, when you're a bad team, I don't pay that much attention to your offensive line. But is that O line bad? Like they've been awesome for Dalvin Cook, right?
Yeah, they've been awesome for running the ball, and I think they've been all right. But just to make Deshaun Watson feel secure, you got to bring in Joe Tooney.
Beef it up a bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Next team in cap space, the first positive team we have for cap space, but the least cap space of just having any available at all is the Bills. Hooray, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my two guys for the Bills that I want are Jared Cook because, speedy tight end, and also I think he's really underrated, so I want him for our team. And then I think we need a running back. And I'm all about Brandon Beane going out and finding some value players that other people are disregarding for some reason. So instead of getting one of the bigger name running backs, and actually now that I'm saying that, I realize that I don't actually have Aaron Jones on. I don't think I wrote Aaron Jones' name down at all. You know what? Just send Aaron Jones to Miami when we get there. Okay, just tack that on because I don't think I wrote him down at all. But Marlon Mack to Buffalo is who I got because I absolutely love him as a player, and I think he's really good, underrated, and I can't believe the Colts just cut him out of the offense entirely, and it's kind of annoying. But he's a free agent now. He's been good for a while, and he's just never getting utilized like a number one back, and I want him to be, and I think he would be good for the Bills.
I have the Bills signing two people as well. One on offense, one on defense. I think the Bills' offensive line was good, but they need to make it better, especially at the guard position. And John Feliciano may walk. They may let him walk. So I think the Bills have a reunion with Jason Peters, and they bring him back in and move him to the inside, make him play a little bit right guard or left guard, move Cody Ford to whichever one. I'd love that. I'd love to see 48-year-old Jason Peters back on the Bills.
Yeah, it's always fun thinking about reunion players, and I kept wanting to do it, and I'm like, I mean, how realistic is that? And I think I only ended up with one, and I've got to even try to remember where it is, but yeah, I don't think it's often that we got reunion opportunities, but yeah. They're fun.
Yes.
Who's your defensive
I just
guy?
figured. Oh well, for Jason Peters, I just figured. Yeah, he's not going to demand a lot of money, and the Bills do need a guy that they could move because I don't even think the Bills really have their offensive line figured out, even though it was ranked in the top half of the league. So Jason Peters is versatile, even though he's old and played left tackle most of his career. They can move him throughout the O line because they did that in Philly this season before he got hurt.
Yeah.
On defense. So, J.J. Watt went to Arizona, right? And I think Brandon Beane's a smart GM, but he's also going to get some FOMO here. He's going to get some fear of missing out.
Okay.
And he's going to bring in Hassan Reddick. He's going to find a way to
Well, I like him,
that.
so I wouldn't be mad about that.
Yes. I think he's going to say to Hassan, hey, JJ Watt went in there, stole your spot. You know, Cardinals obviously didn't want you. JJ didn't want us. How about you and us get together, meet the Cardinals in the Super Bowl, do a little damage together?
And we're better than the Cardinals, so I mean, like,
Exactly.
it's like
Exactly.
you're
So
only
he
getting an
know
upgrade coming here. Plus, you're definitely going to be like the number one pass rusher immediately when you come here.
it, and Hassan Reddick is going against Kyler Murray in practice all the time. He knows how to work his way with these quick quarterbacks. You know what techniques to use, what elusive quarterbacks, and got Pat Mahomes. Got to bring him down when he's running 25 yards backwards and somehow uncorks one. Bring
Yeah.
him down. Kyler Murray. It's done. It's a done deal right now. Hassan Reddick's going to the Bills.
Alrighty. Okay. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I like it, but I don't know if it's gonna be the case or not. Next team, Raiders. All right. I got my little grouping here. I got a bunch of guys that I like. Okay.
Okay.
First guy, we got a Gruden grinder. He's got to come into the building. We need someone to back up Josh Jacobs. I think Frank Gore is headed to Las Vegas. And then I think that next we need one guy on offense to be like physical for at least the position they play, and then we need one guy to be physical on defense for the position they play. Right? Get that old school Raiders mentality back in the game. I really like Dirty Dan Sorensen on defense, and I love Golden Tate on offense. I don't know if they need Dirty Dan, but I'm putting them there.
I also had Dan Sorensen going to the Raiders purely because that dude plays filthy, and that is exactly what the Raiders want.
It's what we want, man. Golden Tate feels like it too. Like it feels like he should have been a Raider for a while.
Yes.
They have a few guys that they need to replace at the receiver position, which makes it good too.
Yes. Besides Dirty Dan, I had one other guy, and it seems like John Gruden brings in two kinds of guys to this Raiders team, and it's guys that are complete characters like Richie Incognito, who they just let go recently, and guys that are silent and don't say anything like Derek Carr. So for every Dan Sorensen that you have that's going to go out there and take a dude's head off, you need a technique guy that's going to make plays, and that's going to be Keanu Neal. And I know the Raiders love themselves some safeties, so they're just going to keep stacking up on there.
Good Lord. So wait, Dan Sorensen and Keanu Neal are going to the Raiders?
Yeah.
With Eric Harris and John Abram?
Yes. I can see them moving Keanu Neal to linebacker, outside linebacker, though, because I've seen that. I've seen that written in a couple.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, you said Keanu. You said that about Keanu Neal. No matter where he goes, is that he may play a linebacker instead of safety. Yeah, that's possible.
Who's next?
The Steelers, and this is actually where I think Hassan Reddick will go to be Bud Dupree's replacement, probably. I think it kind of fits there. And then the other two guys I have, just because they're kind of like, well, Pittsburgh is kind of like a weird team. Like they don't really know. They don't really seem like, I don't see them going out and being like big name or like big money free agent signings. So the other two free agents I've got them pulling in is like I think they may just be like, well, our running game is terrible. Let's get a guy in the building who had a great running career at one point in time. So we've got the oldest 26-year-old in the league pulling in Todd Gurley in the Steelers backfield, and then Terrell Edmunds and Minkah Fitzpatrick are their safeties, but I think that I don't really know how beloved Terrell Edmunds really is in the organization. This is kind of my perspective. I don't think he really is. So the place I was trying to find for this guy to go was kind of like a place where he could maybe compete for a job, but probably not just like straight out be the starter, because I don't really know how well he's done. But Malik Hooker's a free agent, and I think he may be able to compete with Terrell Edmunds for the safety spot opposite Minkah Fitzpatrick. And maybe Terrell Edmunds is a lot better than I remember, but that's what my thought was, is that I don't remember him being exceptional, so he could probably compete with him. But Maybe that's wrong.
For the Steelers, I had three guys. Number one is Jared Cook. I think they're gonna go out there and Ben's gonna say something. Oh, I need more weapons. So they're gonna get Ben two weapons. That's gonna be Jared Cook, and a guy that has also had an illustrious career at running back, Adrian Peterson.
I would love that. I would love if the Steelers were like, yes, we're gonna start running the football again, and we're gonna start running the football again with a 35-year-old running back.
Yeah,
That would I would actually love to watch that. I don't know how likely it is, but I would love to watch it.
I I just like it because Benny Snell's probably going to be the number one running back if James Conner leaves. And Benny Snell is basically young Adrian Peterson.
Really?
Not in skill wise, but build wise.
Okay.
So I think it would just be funny to have like every single time Brett Snell walks into the locker room, he just sees what he's gonna look like in 15 years.
Okay.
And then the last signing, I also thought of how Terrell Edmunds is not really loved that much in the Steelers organization.
Okay,
so I have
we
Bradley
agree.
McDougal.
So hopefully we're not completely wrong.
Yes. So I have Bradley McDougal going to the Steelers.
Okay, I left him off my list. I didn't find a home for him. Sorry, Bradley. I like him though too.
Oh yeah, I love him too. That's why I think he's gonna go out there and just beat Terrell Edmunds outright for the spot.
Okay. Next team got Seahawks. For the Seahawks, I don't have any free agents that they're gonna sign. But the thing is to move Russell Wilson over to Chicago. They kind of need something in return to like make the cap hits less likely. And the Seahawks actually have a decent amount of cap space, so they'll probably sign some more under the radar guys, but I don't expect any big names besides this one that they're going to get in their Russell Wilson trade. And I think that the Chicago Bears just look at their roster, say, defense is pretty solid. We could lose a piece on this side of the ball and be okay. And then, I mean, look at how well they played in that playoff game against the Saints, at least on the defensive side of the ball. If they had anything going on offense at all, it would have been a close game, like almost guaranteed. But they didn't, so they need to trade for Russell Wilson. And then I think it's just worth giving up a piece on defense plus however many picks it takes. But I think that they could get over losing Khalil Mack and still be okay. So I think the Seahawks are going to end up with Khalil Mack in this Russell Wilson trade that I am pushing for. Along with some picks as well, though.
For my Russell Wilson trade that I came up with, I did not. I had it mainly being picks because I have him going to Miami.
Oh. Okay.
So with that, Tua is going to go to the Seahawks, but Cam Newton said he ain't 33. So he's got to be up there in 32, best quarterbacks in the NFL. And I kept thinking, where can Cam compete? I mean, with the football team, I don't know if Rivera's going to bring him in. The Bears with Trubisky there now in my world, or not Trubisky, Sam Darnold. I mean, maybe, but I just think Sam Darnold has a better arm than Cam. So why not go with the guy, the young guy that everyone's kind of doubting and see if you can beat him outright? So Cam Newton's also going to go to the Seahawks, and the Seahawks are going to have a long quarterback battle in the offseason between Tua and Cam Newton. And whoever wins, I'm pretty sure everyone's just going to laugh.
That would be gross either way. Yeah, I know. You're kind of creating
Pete Carroll gets what he wants with that. You get a guy that's going to hand the rock off.
Yeah, good. We don't have to throw it anymore. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Pete Carroll is going to be shocked when Russell Wilson leaves and you're not completing like 75% of the pass attempts that you take on a third of the snaps for the game. Like, you're running the ball 2 out of 3 times and then forcing the throw on third down. It's like, dang, we never convert a third down now. all these 3rd and 7 pluses we've had haven't been good for us.
All the quarterbacks are just standing in the pocket and getting sacked. Why aren't they, being elusive, getting away from it?
They being more like that Russell Wilson guy we had. Oh man. Next, you good? That was your whole Seahawks?
Yeah. I just had Tua and Cam going to Seattle.
Okay. Tennessee. I've only got one guy, but I think it's what they're going to be missing. I think Delaney Walker's leaving. Jonnu Smith is leaving. So need a new tight end in the tight end room. So I think they're signing Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I also had Hunter Henry going to the Titans.
Is that it you had for the Titans?
Yeah, I just had Hunter Henry going to the Titans.
We agree. That's a lock then. That's gonna happen. If we both
mark
say
it down.
If we both say it, it's gotta happen.
Yeah, both say it is, and then we're talking on each other's lists, and we don't have certain guys going to places because we didn't even think about it. And then we just have one guy going to the same team, and that's the only person.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right. Giants is next. For the Giants, I don't really love their cornerback situation. So they got Bradbury and Logan Ryan, and those two guys are decent, but Logan Ryan is older, and Bradbury can only play on one side of the field. So I think they take a shot on another guy that could or could not pan out. He's getting kind of up there in age, but he's a good corner when he's healthy, and that's Jason Verrett. And then on the other side of the ball, they saw the issues they had when Saquon went down with injury. So I think they may want to add a running back to this running back room, and Matt Breida. I think he kind of fits like a replacement Saquon a little bit better than I think Dion Lewis did.
Yes. I thought the same thing for corner for them, and for that I wrote down exactly in my notes Pat Pete to Giants or literally anywhere. So I'd like to see Pat Pete go to the Giants. I think
I wanted to give
boost.
him a little better of a chance, and you'll hear who I actually put him to later.
But like I said, literally anywhere else.
Just not Arizona.
Just get him out of Arizona so I can stop hearing every offseason how he wants out.
And then says, no, I don't.
No, I didn't say that.
Buccaneers repay their own players. That's all I have. I said that already, but just in order of cap room. That's what I got next.
I have a decent sized list of guys that I think are going to go to Tampa Bay.
What the frick? Okay. How many is decent? Just question before you start.
5.
Okay.
Number 1, T.Y. Hilton. He's going to go to the Bucs.
Okay.
Tom Brady said the other day that he would love to have Odell Beckham on the team. I don't think that's going to happen, but they're going to get T.Y.
How the frick do you get like five like definitely starting caliber receivers on one team? Just can't. That's just ridiculous.
If Brady wants it, it's going to happen. I'm certain of that. Same thing with the tight end position. They need another one. Brady needs more weapons. Bring in Delaney Walker. Let him get a ring.
Oh my gosh.
If there's a theme with all these guys, they're really old, and they'll probably just take very team-friendly deals.
Odell?
No, I didn't say Odell. I said T.Y.
Oh, okay. So Odell wasn't actually a part of
No.
No.
Tom Brady said he wants Odell. It's just the only guys I have going there so far that I've said are T.Y. and Delaney Walker.
Okay, keep going.
On defense, Justin Houston. He's going to take a team-friendly deal and sign there. Just boost up that defense even more.
Gosh.
Especially with either Shaq Barrett or Levante David leaving in free agency. They're going to need a guy that can play linebacker. I don't know how well Justin Houston can cover anymore.
Probably not that well.
Yeah, I think in Indy they had him playing on the edge purely and not even like lined up at linebacker at all. So probably just going to if he'd be good there if Shaq Barrett leaves, just to be a guy that can rush the passer.
Okay.
For secondary, this is going to be a type of LaShawn McCoy type thing where he's not going to play at all, but he's going to be there. That's going to be Josh Norman.
Oh,
Josh Norman's going to sign with the Buccaneers just to get a ring. Get out of Buffalo. It's cold up here. Why do you want to be here? Go be in the warmth. And then also, the Saints cap room is kind of garbage. So they're gonna have to make some tough cuts. And one of those tough cuts is gonna be Thomas Morstead, and he's gonna sign with the Buccaneers.
Wow. That would be interesting. Division rival punter.
Yeah, and I was thinking like where's the one spot where I can't really name a guy that plays a position on the Buccaneers. I'm like, I don't know their punter.
Alrighty. It was didn't who? Oh no, the Chiefs punter played like crap in the Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Next team is the Cardinals. I got two guys for the Cardinals. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
made an important assessment for the first one. So first we need the NFL to legalize our marijuana thing. So because it's legal in states, so it's got to be legal just in the NFL overall. Like it's not. I can tell you one thing. It's probably not like helping you at all. So it's not a competitive advantage. And then I had to check to see if marijuana was legal in Arizona, and it is. So Josh Gordon's going to become a Cardinal. Air raid offense, I think it makes perfect sense. Then, on the other hand, we have the most efficient run game in the league a few years back that I like to talk about. And I think with how the defense probably gets just kind of worn down playing against Arizona with not worn down, that's a bad word for it, just into like certain patterns, and probably like is a little more has a little more of a tendency when they're playing against Arizona, no matter what defense it is, to like get to their coverage drops a little quicker. I really like the idea of Le'Veon Bell going there and then actually being able to like revitalize his career slightly, because he's a patient runner and he'll be able to pick holes, and he'll probably have a lot of big holes that he'll be able to exploit and then use blockers to his advantage in these spread out formations to really find big lanes and go for big yardage more often than he has in recent years.
For Arizona, I also have them doubling down on offense, but I don't have them bringing in Josh Gordon. Unfortunately, he is suspended indefinitely from the
No,
NFL.
no, no,
And
no, 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 no.
okay, but I don't think he's gonna go to the Cardinals. I do think the Cardinals will bring another receiver, cheaper guy that they could put in there, but it also works well in the air raid. That's John Ross.
Oh, that would
Speed kills.
that would
Speed kills in the desert.
yeah, that would be fun.
And also, since speed kills in the desert, they're gonna bring in two roadrunners with John Ross and Jonnu Smith, and just have absolute speed all over that team.
Yeah, I probably should have considered a tight end for the Cardinals. That's kind of a
Yeah,
weak position for them.
because I was like, who do the
Dan
Cardinals have
Arnold.
at tight end?
Dan Arnold.
Oh, Dan Arnold and Max Williams. Yeah.
No, Dan Arnold's the starter. Come on, man. At least
I
I
couldn't think of Dan
he
Arnold.
is.
I thought of Max Williams when I thought of their tight end. So why don't we just bring in Jonnu Smith and just have and just have Cliff Kingsbury send everyone deep every single play?
No, yeah. The Josh Gordon thing I said was kind of more like a joke, but I actually really like the Lev Bell idea. Like that like
Yeah.
if I can get him to go one place, it's Arizona.
No, that'd be good too. It's so bad. Just Arizona, because I want them to be good, but I just don't know how good they can really be.
Well, I mean,
If you know what I mean.
they can I don't know. I really don't know either. They're a very weird team. I was going to talk about the Bills, but that doesn't really matter. No,
Well,
yeah, they're no. Don't talk about the Bills. Arizona's a weird team. It's like we thought they were going to be good, and then they started out hot last year, and then they cooled off at the end, and it was like they kind of just just slowly like walked off the stage at the end of the season, like, oh, here we put on a great performance, and yeah, we're and it's like everybody's like encore, and they just like awkwardly walk off the stage and ignore what everybody's saying. Don't even bow either, like just so
yeah.
just like no no appeal at the end of the season. It was just like, nope, we're done. We packed it in.
Mm. For the Cardinals, all that I can think about is that Michael Jordan quote when he was at North Carolina. He said the ceiling is the roof.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
it is.
you don't know what that means. And it's just that's the perfect thing to say about the Cardinals. The ceiling is the roof.
I like that quote. That is a good Cardinals quote right there. Next team in terms of cap space is the Carolina Panthers, and one of the players I'll save for. I have 3 guys going to Carolina, but the last guy I'm gonna save is the reason that I wanted to make this video, and this episode be about this stuff, not this video, but this episode be about this stuff. But the first 2 guys I want to say, Mike already talked about Mike Davis being gone, being signed away to Atlanta. So I think they need a second running back who's another good receiving running back out of the backfield. So I'm going to give you the best hands out of the backfield in the league. And that's Duke Johnson, or at least some of the best hands out of the backfield in the league, because their starter is probably the best hands out of the backfield in the league. And then at wide receiver, Curtis Samuel's leaving. So I figure, let's bring in Sammy Watkins. And another reason to bring in Sammy Watkins would be to ease in their new quarterback, because their new quarterback, since Matt Rule is apparently out on Teddy Bridgewater, at least that's kind of what he has hinted at, so they're going to need a new guy, and he wants a guy that's faster than Bridgewater so that he can run more of his schemes he likes. We're going to bring in Tyrod Taylor to be the starting quarterback. And then he's going to have Sammy Watkins to be the guy he's played with for a little while, and he'll have him as a remembering target, but then Carolina still offers him a lot of decent weapons. Curtis Samuel's leaving too, which is why Watkins would come in. And then but they've still got a lot of other guys there, like who's the number 1 there? What's his face?
DJ Moore.
Yes, he's very talented, so thank you for picking that name out for me, since I couldn't think of it at this moment. But yes, he's very talented. Watkins is the number 2, and then having these 2 options.
What about Robbie Anderson?
2 options out of the backfield would be good. I don't know as much about Robbie Anderson, but yeah, he's a good target.
Okay. I also have Carolina picking up a wide receiver. But first I want to start on defense, because I want to hit these 2 offensive signings together. On defense, I have them picking up another guy that the Saints are going to have to let walk because they don't have any cap space, and that's Marcus Williams. Yes. And pairing him in the secondary with Jeremy Chin is going to be lethal.
Yeah, probably.
So I really want that to happen.
I like the interdivision signings too. I think they make a lot of sense. It's just like, oh, we see this guy play well, and now we want him.
So Marcus Williams to the Panthers, and then for offense, their wide receiver that they're going to pick up, not Sammy Watkins, but Tim Patrick. The Broncos should have enough money to re-sign him, but I mean, with Cortland Sutton coming back, I don't get the point of bringing in Tim Patrick, especially at the age of 28, to just stand on the sidelines for most of the game, when if they have 3 wide receiver sets, it's going to be Sutton, Judy, and Hamler. It just doesn't really make much sense for them to even waste money to keep him around. So Tim Patrick, and then at quarterback, another Buffalo quarterback, not Tyrod Taylor, but Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's gonna walk into Carolina, and they're gonna bring him in to mentor whatever quarterback they draft.
So yeah, Matt Rule's really gonna be happy with this. He's like, Teddy Bridgewater wasn't mobile enough. All right, Fitzpatrick, you're in.
Teddy Bridgewater's never led a team in rushing yards in a season. Jeez. Ryan Fitzpatrick has.
That is a good argument. I can't. Yes, that is a good argument. Wow, you're. Good thinking. Good quick thinking. Oh, man, though. I was so happy right before we started the podcast that I saw that Fitzpatrick is still going to play. I have Fitzpatrick on my list somewhere, but to be revealed later. But I got scared because the other day we had this scare that said something like Fitzpatrick may be done, and I was like, oh, no, you can't be yet. You're not leaving.
My kids need to see you play.
Yeah, you're not leaving anytime soon, buddy. You're not getting out of this that easy. All right, next team I have is the Texans. All right, basically the Texans just can will be able to sign everybody that nobody else wants. So the Texans for me are basically the only team that when I was had Cam Newton left as a quarterback were the only team that I was like, oh geez, they're the only option. So either Cam Newton isn't gonna sign this offseason, or he's gonna wait for a quarterback to get hurt and then sign like mid-season to somebody and try to jump into that role. And I think that's probably the better idea than going to the Texans. But if he wants to sign this offseason, the best offer he may get is probably from the Texans. So we'll say Cam Newton to the Texans. Along with that, I don't think Adrian Peterson is going to get many offers. So Adrian Peterson to the Texans. Unique Ngakoue is probably going to demand a decent amount of money, even though in recent years his or at least last year it felt like his production was way down from where it was. So I mean, like the old school production is what's going to really have him have a big asking price, but I don't know if a lot of teams are going to be willing to pay it, and I think the Texans are one of them. And then Tack McKinley's another guy that's like kind of down, not really had a great upward trending career, kind of just either like staying the same level or just not anything too exciting that I think the Texans could get, because there may not be a lot of interest from other teams. Because that's basically what I think the Texans are going to be. I think anybody with a choice is probably not going to choose to go to the Texans, but that's who I think they'll end up with.
For the Texans, for me, like I said previously, I have Kirk Cousins getting traded there. And with Kirk Cousins, they're also going to sign Adam Humphries and Keelan Cole, just because they're garbage. Not the players, not Adam Humphries and Keelan Cole, but the Texans are, and they just really want to waste a couple years off of these guys. And they want to make Kirk feel like, look at all these weapons we got you. And one of them's Adam Humphries. And it's also interdivision signing, and I like those.
Yeah, that's another reason I put Ngakoue here, because he was on the Jags before and now he's going to the Texans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see Houston attracting many guys that really want to play there.
No.
They'll probably offer the most money to a lot of guys. Not going to get a lot of guys to sign there, though.
Yeah, no. It's when you get that much bad publicity, it's tough. Ravens. I've got a little interesting one here for the Ravens. Okay, so the Ravens are losing a decent amount of linebackers and probably don't need help in the secondary, but these guys come as a package deal. So Shaquille and Shaquem Griffin are gonna head to Baltimore together, and the secondary is gonna get even more lethal with Shaquille back there, and Shaquem's replacing some of the guys in the linebacking core that are leaving. And then on the opposite side of the ball, we know that we need to get some more receiving threats for Lamar. But how are we going to do this? Well, what should we value the most? And it's like we're going to get a lot of scramble drill situations with Lamar probably. So like even if a play doesn't initially work, he's going to be able to scramble and try to find somebody open later. So I think the idea is to get some speed in here. So the two guys that the Ravens are going to bring in along with Shaquille and Shaquem are Will Fuller and Deshaun Jackson. Are both headed to Baltimore to really get, along with Marquise Brown, really start having some lethal speed at the receiver position to hopefully make it so that Lamar has some more separation for the throws he has to make.
Yeah, for the Ravens, for me, I chose two wide receivers, and one of them was Deshaun Jackson.
Nice.
The other one was Rashad Perriman.
So
Yeah,
you have another returning player.
Well, yeah, oh yeah, geez, he did play there. I couldn't really think. I was thinking about sending. I don't have Marvin Jones on my list, but he was a guy that I was considering, sending to Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't think I have Marvin Jones on here anywhere either.
But I just couldn't really find a guy. It's really hard if you're a receiver to want to go there, because you know that you're not going to be. Receivers are just naturally, like, statistically fueled guys. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how you're going to get some young receiving talent that be like, yeah, I want to go to Baltimore so I can finishing the season with 75 catches
Yeah,
or 50 to 75 catches.
probably.
As a number one option.
Yeah, probably not a really elite receiver. No, no. But I love like Deshaun Jackson off the play action and stuff. Yeah, give me that all day.
Yes.
Um, Cowboys next team. Cowboys have enough space to sign multiple guys. I don't know why, but I just didn't feel a strong vibe towards anyone from the Cowboys. But just so you know, spoiler alert ahead. Dak Prescott is exiting the building for Dallas. I don't think he's gonna get franchise tagged. I feel like they would have just franchised him by now if they were gonna, right? Do you think so? That's just how I feel. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But the quarterback replacement I have for Dak Prescott is actually going to be Alex Smith, and I think that he is going to light it up with these receivers, even if it's short and intermediate passing game. They've got a lot of guys who can catch and run after the catch, and I think this offense actually becomes really exciting if Alex Smith can play 16 games for them under center.
Yeah, I didn't have anyone going to the Cowboys just because for me, I feel like they're gonna blow most of their money trying to re-sign Dak.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. Yeah, but if they don't re-sign Dak, they actually have a decent amount of cap space, so it becomes an interesting thing once that happens.
It's one of the it's kind of I don't want to paradox isn't the right word, but if you sign Dak, you don't have any money to bring in other guys. But if you don't sign Dak, you can bring in a lot of guys, but you don't have a quarterback at that point.
Yeah, I know, and that's weird because I didn't put anyone along with Alex Smith, but it's just like in rooting for Alex Smith, like I really would like him to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually on the basis of me thinking that I don't think Dak will re-sign there. So, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yep. Who's next?
What'd you say for the Cowboys?
I didn't have anyone for the Cowboys.
Okay.
I figured that they wouldn't have any money if they re-signed Dak.
So now you're gonna find out where this team is about to get a lot of fun players. Okay. What if I told you the Money Badger, Matt Milano, and Patrick Peterson were all gonna sign to the same team next year? That's a super team, is it not?
Yeah, sounds like the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No, it's the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland has a surprising amount of cap space, and they have Greedy Williams and Denzel Ward at corner, but I think just they had really bad cornerback injuries last year, so I think it would make sense for them to go grab Patrick Peterson. Then their linebacker position is probably their weakest unit on their team, so they get Matt Milano. And the Money Badger is the only kicker I put on my list, and I think he's going to Cleveland because they kind of had some kicking struggles last year, so I think he would be a good guy to bring in for a kicking competition, and I think he could win. Because I think the reason the Chargers didn't re-sign him is because he actually had a fairly down year last year, but he's the Money Badger, and come on, kicking for the Chargers, I mean, we know the Chargers have the worst late game luck ever, so we knew that you were going to miss a lot of field goals if you're a Chargers kicker anyways.
Yeah, look at Young Ho Koo. He got out of the Chargers, and look at him now, Pro Bowler.
Yeah, I think he's a free agent too. But the Falcons have no money, so
yeah.
So if they want to sign Mike Davis and not re-sign their kicker, I mean,
for Cleveland, I had two guys both on defense. Richard Sherman, he's gonna sign there. I think he'll probably move to safety.
That's pretty similar to Pat Pete, though. So I mean,
yeah. And the Browns are also going to be in the same situation I think the Bills will be in with J.J. Watt FOMO, fear of missing out. They're going to bring in Yannick Ngakoue.
Okay.
To just be like, yeah, see.
They're going to overpay him?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Look, we got a premier edge rusher that was good 3 seasons ago and has just been mediocre ever since then.
I just don't think that teams that have somebody like Myles Garrett will ever be like that scared about getting a pass rusher. Like, I can definitely see the Bills spending a stupid amount of money on a pass rusher that isn't any good. But if you've already got at least one guy, I don't see it as much.
Yeah, but it's also an interdivision signing.
Okay, but I mean,
Stealing from
but did he do anything last year? Like when I say the interdivision signing thing, it's like, oh, this guy played well against us last year, and then in this, it's like, but Yannick Ngakoue didn't play well last year.
uh last season he played in 15 games, uh forced 4 fumbles and had 8 sacks.
Oh, he forced 4 fumbles. Okay, that's more than I remembered it being. So I guess he did do more than I thought. Alrighty,
Yeah.
4 fumbles, 4 forced fumbles is pretty good, and 8 sacks isn't bad either. Not crazy levels, but I mean the 4 forced fumbles really brings the 8 sacks. Uh, impactful, impactful.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'll say. Um, so the Dolphins. This is the team that I just randomly decided to throw Aaron Jones to earlier. But also they still need more running backs. So I mean, take a shot in the dark on a guy in Tevin Coleman. Just add him in there because a bunch of 49ers running backs are leaving San Fran this year, and they're still San Francisco's still gonna have 2 quality running backs left even after like 4 of them leave this offseason. So Tevin Coleman's gonna go to Miami along with Aaron Jones, and maybe they'll actually start having some semblance of a run game. And then the other guy, interdivision player here again that played really well against the Dolphins twice, and that's Marcus Maye. I mean, balled
Mm.
out against the Dolphins. I think it would not shock me at all to see him go to Miami because, you know, you have the guy make insane plays against you. Like he had that one crazy interception, I think. Just makes sense for him to go there.
Yeah, for the Dolphins, for me, I also have Aaron Jones going there. I saw today that the uh, Eagles have made Brandon Brooks available in trade talks, and since I think Russell Wilson's going to get traded to Miami, the Dolphins are gonna have to build an offensive line around him because they cannot have him be getting killed. Not that Miami's offensive line is terrible like it is in Seattle, but putting Brandon Brooks on there immediately upgrades it. And I think the Dolphins are going to make a lot of cuts. Like they already cut Van Noy. I think they're going to have some more surprise cuts coming in the up throughout the week. So with that, they're going to sign the best wide receiver in free agency to give Russell Wilson another weapon in Allen Robinson.
All right, jeez, that's a lot.
Yeah,
they're
no,
about to
I
they're about to change a ton.
yeah, I think
It's gonna be a completely different team next season.
I yeah, Flores is gonna try to move away from his or at least it seems like he's going to try to move away from his philosophy of defense first and try to make that offense just a juggernaut because it's well except in the Super Bowl I guess where that defense showed out. Offense is win you games at this point. It's not
Yeah.
the defense wins championships. Yeah, that was true last season, but for the Chiefs, Chiefs being consistently great and
The
having to
Bucks
compete with the
still
Chiefs
scored 31 points.
yes, yes. The Chiefs being consistently great and being the head of the AFC, you're gonna need an offense that can go toe to toe with them. So he's gonna have to make some cuts on defense, especially when you have like 3 or 4 solid cornerbacks that can all be CB1s somewhere else. You
Yeah.
can maybe move on from one of them in their huge contract.
Yeah, the chances of oh, Nick Needham is out there too, by the way.
Yeah.
Um yeah, talking about the offensive versus the defensive thing. I mean, the best example of that is literally just how many people are predicting that if the Bears have Mitch Trubisky starting at quarterback next season, that they're going to come anywhere near winning the Super Bowl. It kind of happened in like the early 2000s. You would get a lot of guys showing up to the Super Bowl with just like random nameplates
At Dilfer.
at quarterback, but I mean, yeah, no, like it it doesn't seem to be happening as often anymore. You need something on the offensive side of the ball. You can't
Mm-hmm.
just be all about that defense.
Yeah.
Uh, Next team I got is the Niners. Boy, I could almost not name you any single safety for the 49ers. Um, so I'll give them Marcus Williams at the safety position. They're also losing like at least two, maybe three cornerbacks that were like kind of important guys to them in free agency. So guy they'll sign to replace them, Desmond King. They're losing, I think, either one or two receivers to free agency this year as well, and they've kind of got a lot of guys there. None of them are ever huge big name receivers, but I don't know. I just kind of like the idea of them adding Nelson Aguilar there too. So those are the three guys I have for the Niners signings.
I have three guys for the Niners as well. The first one is Desmond Trufant. They need more help at corner, so they're going to bring him in. And then in a division that is as stacked with punter talent as the NFC West is, the Niners have to keep up. Mitch Wisniewski is not doing it for me. Okay, you got Andy Lee, Johnny Hecker, and Dicko mode in there. All right, you can't keep up with Mitch Wisniewski. All right, so you're gonna bring in Michael Pilardi, and then there's just gonna be some golden legs throughout that division. And then lastly, this is nothing, but I think the Niners are gonna make a trade for OBJ.
That's interesting. I like that.
And
I actually really like
give
that.
Jimmy G. I think Jimmy G is still going to be their quarterback next season.
Yeah.
I know that's not a popular opinion to really have.
Oh, I think he is
Everyone.
too.
Yeah. So just
no.
try to do all you can to, stop the bleeding a little bit and here's
Jeez.
Odell Beckham Jr. So that way, if you do underperform next season, we can get rid of you and no one's going to argue with us.
In my brain, I just don't see Odell playing for the Browns next season. But whenever I'm like putting something together for where Odell will end up, I just never put him anywhere. Like, I didn't move him at all for any of these teams we're talking about. I didn't put him on a list for changing teams, and yet I'm sitting here saying there's like no way I see him on the Browns. So I don't even know what's up with that for me. But I like the 49ers spot. That's a cool one.
2 seasons ago, him and Jarvis were telling the Niners to come get them. So
yeah. Next team, Chargers. Okay, Chargers lost Hunter Henry, replacement. We want to see what Donald Parham is made of, but just in case Donald Parham isn't good, we got to have another guy there. So Jordan Reed will be a second tight end option for them. Their receivers aren't weak, but I think they could add one, and this guy probably wouldn't be mentioned by anybody else, but Zay Jones, think he could sign there. And then since you have the, as you say, the defensive genius of the entire century, Brandon Staley being signed there, I think it makes sense that for opposite Derwin James, if Derwin James can ever make it back to full health, which hopefully he does, I think it would make sense for him to bring a guy over from the Rams in John Johnson III to play the other safety spot opposite. What's his face? Derwin James.
Yes. Brandon Staley is just gonna be a young genius. And everyone's gonna know it. Every single defensive player is gonna know it. So Jadeveon Clowney is gonna sign there, probably on another 1-year deal. And then for safety, like you said, need someone to play opposite Derwin James. I have Malik Hooker going there, so they have 2 great young safeties with Jadeveon Clowney.
Okay.
Up front.
Oh, is that all of it?
Yeah, that's all of it.
That didn't feel like much of a conclusion.
No. That's all I got. I've just trying to find a offensive guy that I could chuck in there. I couldn't bring myself to really see any of the guys that I was looking at on the Chargers. So
all right, now the Broncos. The Broncos had an absolutely atrocious season in terms of cornerbacks. They just all looked atrocious. So we're gonna bring in a new number 1 corner, a new number 2 corner, and a new nickel corner. Okay, ready for this? Okay. Cam Sutton's gonna be one of the outside guys. Nick Needham's gonna be the other outside guy, and Nickel Roby Coleman's gonna be playing in the slot. And I think the other thing that I should mention is I think Devontae Bosby, don't really know too much, but I think he played actually fairly decently, so he could still compete with like Nick Needham for the outside job, or even be a good option if any of these other guys ever got hurt. But I mean, it feels like that defense is kind of the lacking piece. It seems like the linebacker slash D line are slightly better than the secondary, so I thought it would be a good idea for them to add just a ton of guys into the cornerback room. While the safety room is better because of guys like Justin Simmons, who's just going to get franchise tagged every year for the rest of his life, but whatever, no big deal. Safety room is better than the cornerback room, so just add a bunch of talent to the cornerback room. And then the only other position that's really like glaring need, glaring, is quarterback. So Deshaun Watson is going to end up a Bronco and be traded there.
Yeah, I could see Deshaun Watson going there. I look at the Broncos and I think, wow, this is a really good team. Why aren't they winning more games? And then it's like, oh, Drew Lock's their quarterback. But
Yeah, it's tough.
we had Josh Allen as our quarterback, and everyone was saying we should get rid of him after one season.
Hmm.
Let Drew Lock develop for another year under the same offensive coordinator, which is a reason why one of these guys is going to sign with the Broncos. That's Kyle Rudolph. Best season of his career came under when Pat Shurmur was his offensive coordinator.
Don't like Noah Fant?
No, I love Noah Fant. Just give him some more weapons. This is mainly not for the
More
Broncos fan,
weapons.
but
Good lord. You think they need more
you have
guys
to
to
give
give the
Drew
ball
Lock
to?
zero excuses for being terrible at this point.
Exactly. He already had zero excuses. That's why I'm putting Deshaun
No, 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 no,
Watson
no, no,
there.
no. He didn't have Cortland Sutton there. So you could say he didn't have his number one wide receiver. He's working with Jerry Jeudy, who caught only 47% of the balls that were thrown his way. Uh, so bring in Kyle Rudolph. This is mainly for Kyle Rudolph, thinking, what's the best situation for me? I'm going to go with the guy that coached me to have the best season of my career that I had in Pat Shurmur. So he'll go there. And then on defense, I think they're going to bring in two corners, one of them being Kevin King, the other one being Ronald Darby.
Oh, jeez. Well, they didn't even upgrade. They added two guys, but it was just like, yeah, all the value we get out of them doesn't really stick around long.
Yeah, I I also in my notes I wrote everything in pen and I wrote Buster Screen and then I scratched it
Oh
out.
my gosh, I hate you. No, seriously, I think if the Broncos get all four of the guys I just listed, I think they become a heck of a lot better team than they were at. Well, the guys you're saying they may sign, I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, that
Well,
that wasn't
yeah,
exciting.
no, 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 duh. You're saying if they get Deshaun Watson, they're gonna be a better team.
No, but the corners I have too. Like I don't like the corners you picked out, but I like the corners I picked out. And
Ronald
I think
Darby.
I think they could get the corners that I picked out and Deshaun Watson with the cap space they have.
Love Ronald Darby.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay. I don't hate Ronald Darby as much as who was the other guy you mentioned?
Kevin King.
Yeah, I like Darby more than Kevin King, but
What the guy has one bad game on a national stage and everyone freaks out and says he's bad.
yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
like we said in a previous episode, I never heard of this guy before that game. And
Okay, I have.
when it comes to cornerbacks, that's a good thing.
Nah, I had heard of him. Yeah. No, sorry. I'm not as into it. Bengals. The Bengals have a ton of cap space, but as we know, the Bengals usually have small pockets, and I don't expect them to go out and make any huge signings. But what I do expect them to do is just take a look, not even worry about position, and just say, we need to protect Joe Burrow. So the two guys they'll pay decent-sized contracts to are Joe Thuney and Trent Williams. I think they could both go to Cincinnati, even though they have a lot of young offensive line talent, and I think they have two young tackles. I don't think it would be a bad idea to get Trent Williams in there and see where you have to move guys around to, just to make sure that that unit is stout up front. And then the one guy I have returning to his old team that he used to play for, left and then became a lot less than he was before, is I think George Iloka across from Jesse Bates the third would
Mm.
maybe revitalize his career a little bit. Wasn't like ever insane, but definitely hasn't been as good since he left Cincinnati. So bring him back and put him across from Jesse Bates the third.
Yeah, for me, I mainly focused on having to protect Joe Burrow, so I have the Bengals signing Brandon Sheriff and Richie Incognito. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, I think both of those guys would be good
I
signings for
didn't put
them.
Sheriff on my list. I should have put him on there, and
Yeah,
I could have put him to the Bengals too. I like that
and
one.
I also have a guy opposite Jesse Bates the third, and that would be Marcus Maye. So that defense just gets that defense automatically has the most underrated safety tandem in the league at that point.
Yeah, yeah, literally immediately.
Hmm. So
Next, next,
I think that'd be great.
next team I have is the Colts. I'm pretty sure they're using losing Xavier Rhodes, and I didn't actually make a uh I didn't put a location for Xavier Rhodes, but this is kind of my reasoning for this one. I think they wanted another vet corner in there just like him that maybe can even play at a higher level than him. So I think Richard Sherman ends up there. And then the other
Mm.
guy I think that they bring in because they still have a decent amount of cap space. Um which is basically because I don't think I really think the Bears want to resign him, and I think once the Bears get a quarterback, he would actually want to stay. I think the problem is I don't think the cap number is going to be doable. So I think Allen Robinson is going to be forced to leave Chicago, and he'll end up in Indianapolis,
Uh,
where there's still
for
a lot of receiving opportunity. Sorry.
yes, yes. No, no, I can see Allen Robinson going there. I don't know what the Colts cap situation is gonna. I don't know how it's been affected by Wentz being there because I don't think the numbers have shown it. I know that the Eagles are taking on a brunt of like the brunt of the contract, but I don't think it's been updated to show that. So I don't know how much cap they're gonna have. But for them, I have them signing Zach Ertz, bring him in so they can have Jack Doyle and a target that Wentz is familiar with and can trust immediately. So if there's like a shortened off season or something, they have a guy that he's already comfortable with and has worked with, and a guy that hasn't told him that he cannot have his number.
Who said
And
that?
Michael Pittman.
Oh my gosh. Okay. No, I knew that. I interpreted it as what you said as he can't have my phone number. Like there was
Ah,
somebody on the Colts that said, I don't want Carson Wentz
don't call
texting
me.
me.
Don't call me, bro. Uh, and then I also have them replacing Xavier Rhodes with a veteran corner and Jason Verrett as well.
Okay. All right. Similar concepts.
Hmm.
Um, Washington is next, and then after Washington, we'll be into the top three for most cap space, which is where it really gets exciting. And I have a bunch of guys for all those teams. But my Washington guys are looking at Logan Thomas. Sorry, but I don't know how confident I am in you as a tight end. I think Jonnu Smith is a good play there. I think Washington looks at the receiver room, says, okay, we've got guys here we think are talented, but I think a good call is to bring in a vet wide receiver. And I think AJ Green is probably a good option here for them because then they get a vet receiver and it kind of gives him an opportunity to play for a team that's actually looking like it has a fairly good chance to do, like, they're the team in the NFC East that made the playoffs last year, and if they sign a few of the right guys and get good quarterback play, then they could win it again. So AJ Green should be able to make it to the playoffs with this team, and then just get a guy up front that will really be an intimidation factor. They're losing Brandon Sheriff, as you said, and further Brandon Sheriff loss. I think the intimidator up front that will be the replacement for him is Richie Incognito to keep some strong
Mm.
offensive line play going for them.
Uh, I have the football team picking up Shaq Barrett for the defense, or Levante David. I have those two interchangeable because Tampa Bay I feel like can only get one and let the other one go. So whichever one is let go, that's the one they're gonna get.
Okay.
And uh, hold on, I gotta check my notes here. I have them getting that, and then I have them signing Kyle Juszczyk.
Oh. Okay. Wasn't expecting
Just
that.
seems like a Rivera kind of guy, you know. Rivera move. We got Antonio Gibson. Well, let's put the best fullback in the NFL in front of him.
Yes, I agree. That's yeah. I mean, it seems like a Rivera guy. It's just I don't even remember them using a fullback like at all last season.
They're gonna use it now that they have the best fullback in the NFL on their team.
I mean, yeah. But the next team I want to talk about is where I think Hughes Check will go, and I'm really excited to talk about the Patriots because I think the Patriots are about to take their huge cap space and just sign a bunch of guys that are like lower level players, but just can be used as tools to be like really creative in what they do with their offense. So my list for the Patriots are like all sorts of like utility guys, and they can be used all over the place. So Kyle Juszczyk is obviously a fullback, but he's a fullback that can do like everything, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
we've got Cordero Patterson, who I think is obviously kick returning weapon, and then a guy you can do a lot of jet stuff with, or put him in the backfield even. And alongside that, I think they're still going to want more weapons on the offense. But like I said, if you're going to do it with Patterson, it would be even better to have two of those guys that you can just move all over the field on offense. So then they signed Jamal Agnew along with him, and they need a tight end. So in the tight end, this guy isn't as crazy, but you could split him out more if you need to because he's got fairly decent speed. Gerald Everett can become the starting tight end. And then I think you want to work that like short to intermediate passing game that you worked with Brady for so long that Cam Newton kind of failed at. I think the right guy to bring in for that is Ryan Fitzpatrick. And then you bring back all the guys on defense who just opted out last year, and most of those guys were on defense. The defense immediately improves, and I think the offense becomes a lot better if you bring all these guys in that I just mentioned. And I think this team is a lot more interesting next year if they can sign all these guys. And like I said, I don't think any of them are crazy, outlandish, like high-priced guys, so I think they actually could land all of them, and it would be very interesting to see what they could do if they did that.
Yeah. Uh, I have. Well, I'll save offense for last because I want to get your thoughts on this. But special teams, the Cardinals have released Zane Gonzalez the other day, so the Patriots want an upgrade for Nick Folk. Bring in Zane Gonzalez. He's a reliable kicker.
Yeah, that's it.
Uh,
Yeah.
on defense, I have them. Kyle Van Noy is going to come back with a vengeance. He's gonna be like, I hate Brian Flores for just bringing me down there just to cut me.
That's a
And then
good.
Bill's gonna say, hey man, I told you shouldn't have left me.
That's
So why don't you just come back?
That's a good call too. They could actually do that. They could fit that in still with all the guys I have them signing because like I said, none of these guys are terribly expensive. They could still bring Van Noy back.
And with Van Noy, they're also gonna sign Christian Kirksey.
Yeah,
And
he's another good piece that you could move all over the place.
hmm and that's kind of all the signings I thought of for special teams, defense, and then on offense, I got one big signing for him because Bill still hasn't learned his lesson. Bill still hasn't learned his lesson. He thinks that he can just be a better team than everyone else without having the most important position on the field, and that's quarterback. And he's going to learn his lesson after this season because he's going to have Mitch Trubisky as a starting quarterback.
Oh, good lord. I really hope that's not the option he goes with. I really. Oh my god.
It is going to be.
If Bill Belichick does that, he loses all credibility.
I
All of it.
I was trying to find a place. I was trying to find a place to put Alex Smith as well, and I could see Alex Smith going there and Bill Belichick having a quarterback duel between Alex Smith and Mitch Trubisky.
You see, I get what you mean. I liked the Fitzpatrick signing here better because I feel like Fitzpatrick could be successful with like all these guys that are there and that I mentioned that are just like lesser known guys that could make plays. While Alex Smith, I think actually would need help to have a decent playing time, so that's why I thought the Cowboys made more sense for Alex Smith. But yeah, that if this Mitch Trubisky thing happens, that comes to fruition, then I'm not I'm giving all the credit for every Super Bowl the Patriots won to Tom Brady. I mean, those early ones don't seem like you should be giving credit to Brady most of the time, but at least the first two. But geez, I'll give it all to him if Bill signs Mitch Trubisky and then they just look like crap. If he signs Mitch Trubisky and makes him great, then I have no idea what's going on, but please don't sign Mitch Trubisky. All right. Jets.
Yeah. Who do you got for the Jets?
I got 2 defensive signings and 3 offensive signings. So,
Okay.
the Jets basically need help at every position on offense. There's like none you can't look at. So I think my running back that I'm sending to the Jets isn't like a well-known guy, but like I said, I think they may want to test out some of the younger ball carriers they have in their backfield. So this is kind of just a backup plan guy. Jerick McKinnon, another guy who's leaving the 49ers. Probably not too expensive for the Jets to sign, but also a good option in case they need another option because the young guys aren't good enough or whatever, or playing poorly or whatever. Then at the receiver position, we've got the bright lights in New York. So we're going to get the guy who's trying to go the most viral in the universe. He's trying to become the biggest celebrity in the NFL. I think it makes sense for Juju Smith-Schuster to go to the Jets, and they have the money to pay him a crap ton of money, and I think they would be willing to do it. So I think I could definitely see Juju going here. And then I'll talk about my 2 defensive guys before I get to the last guy. I think they're going to lose Marcus Maye and be like salty about it. It's like, well, how many other guys can we sign at the safety position that actually like maybe at least keep us on that same level or even improve it? And then I think this is where Keanu Neal ends up because, like I said, cap space, he'll get the best offer from the Jets. Then the other guy on defense that they're going to sign, the only reason I need them to sign this guy is because I can't believe that when Ken Crawley plays for the Saints, he wears a mouth guard that is green, and it ticks me off so much. And I don't even know if he has done it recently. It was like a while ago the last time I saw it. But yeah, Ken Crawley needs to go to the Jets so that his mouth guard matches his uniform. And they need corners, so it's not like ridiculous that they'd sign a corner. And then the last guy they'll add, which will be the real big payday, is I think they'll sign Dak Prescott. I think this is where Prescott ends up. I think they bring in Juju, Crowder. Who else is there? Sorry, thinking. Who is it? There's one other guy.
Braxton Berrios?
No, I'm forgetting it right now. Oh well. It's okay. They have another. Mims maybe. Maybe it was Mims.
Yes.
Maybe Mims is the guy I'm thinking of. Yes. But yeah, I think they've got some decent receiving options there, and then they'll add Juju and Jerick McKinnon to that list. So hopefully that'll make it a little more enticing, and I think they'll at least be improved if the Pats. I think if the Pats, Dolphins, and Bills do all the same things that I said they would do, then the Jets are still the worst team in the division, but I think they're much improved from where they were last season.
Yeah. For me, I don't have the Jets doing a big Dak Prescott blockbuster move like you do. Okay. But I do have them making a couple money moves. I also have Juju going there.
Nice.
It was between the Giants and the Jets because I wanted him to follow the Lev Bell career trajectory.
Okay.
Of going to the big city. So I have Juju. I also have AJ Green going there as well.
Interesting.
I don't think Jamison Crowder is going to be there. I think they're going to move on from him, maybe cut him.
Oh, okay.
Just so, like, I mean, it's going to be really tough, and I needed AJ Green to go somewhere. So I'm just going to have the narrative of they cut Jamison Crowder so they can have AJ Green in there.
All right.
And then I also have another signing of the Jets fan base going, we need a premier defensive player so we could create some pressure on these quarterbacks that are in our division. You know, we got Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, Mitch Trubisky. What are we going to do? So the Jets then Yeah,
So
the Jets.
fearful.
The Jets then prove why they are the Jets, and they pick up Takk McKinley. And
So no quarterback, just Dak McKinley.
yes,
Wait, but they moved on from. Okay, so they're drafting a QB.
yes, they're
Okay.
drafting a QB.
Man, there's a lot of guys to draft. I just don't know how many teams are actually gonna draft quarterbacks. I don't know why. I'm just.
Can't wait. Free agency is gonna start up, man,
Yeah, I
and
know.
we got to get some pre-free agency mock drafts in.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so the Jags are the team with the most cap space. Um,
Yes, they are.
I'll start with something that's connected to Atlanta for Jacksonville. Atlanta's still heavily over the cap, and I don't see them being a contender this season, or and probably, I mean they could be next season, but even then you're looking at it going at least 2 years down the line to help this team be a lot better. That's kind of a scary outlook. So I just think the right decision is probably to move on from Julio Jones at this point and clear up some cap space so that they have some room because they're still well under, they're still well over the cap. So I think Julio Jones could get traded to the Jags, and I know the Jags won't be as competitive of a team either, but I think that having a guy like Julio Jones around would really help some other guys develop. And on top of that, they're almost guaranteed to have a young starting quarterback be the first overall pick, thinking that will be Trevor Lawrence. So I think Julio Jones is a good idea there. And then on top of that, I think they just go for two other guys too that are ball catchers to make sure that they can really help out Trevor Lawrence. This is even though they already have like pretty solid receivers. It's just really making sure that Trevor Lawrence has the best chance to thrive. In Kenny Galladay also coming in, and he's a huge playmaker. So that would be, they would have two great receivers, just right off the bat. Also having DJ Chark there, who I also love. I mean, it would be a great receiving core. And then they could also add Robert Tonyan from the Packers, who I think is a pretty good tight end since they kind of have a weak tight end position right now. And defensive wise, even though I like a lot of the guys they have at linebacker, I'm just going to say they're going to do it and they're going to spring for another guy to come off the edge. I think they're going to get in love with the name and the player he was when he was in the division, and I think they'll go for Jadeveon Clowney as well to add to this group.
I also have a couple of big signings for the Jags. I don't think they're gonna get Julio. I do think though they'll want to surround Trevor Lawrence, or I've seen people saying Zach Wilson. If they don't draft Trevor Lawrence, everyone's gonna make fun of him. I know you're not too high on Trevor Lawrence, but you haven't watched film on any of the quarterbacks yet, so
Nope.
we'll see where your stance is, later on him.
I'm excited to find out what I think.
Uh, Not gonna pick up Julio. They're gonna get Will Fuller though at wide receiver to help him out with DJ Chark there and the other young guys on that team. And then I think the rest of their moves are gonna be on defense. They're going to have the most underrated linebacker core in the NFL because they're gonna have Joe Schobert and they're also gonna bring in Matt Milano.
Oh,
Uh,
good lord.
and
Is there
then
enough room?
what do you mean? Is there enough room in the cap?
Well, Josh Allen, Caleb Von Chason, Joe Schobert.
Oh,
Better,
yeah,
better.
just underrated defense supreme. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it would really be underrated.
Well, no, you have
linebackers.
to listen to the
They're
rest of these
they're
settings too that I have for their
they're okay,
defense.
okay, but I'm just gonna say that yes, Joe Schobert and Matt Milano are the inside linebackers in this theoretical 3-4 Jags defense we're creating. Okay, keep going.
Uh, and then I have a couple rotational edge rushers for them. Guys are kind of old. They're not going to be starters per se. They might start, but they're going to be mainly rotate out. Josh Allen's going to get a majority of the snaps. And Carlos Dunlap was just released today by the Seahawks. So why not go out there and with the Jags, get a bag, and also help a young team ball, sign a 2-year contract. Maybe you can make the playoffs in the second season. Maybe you can make it in the first season.
All
And
right.
then I so desperately want Ryan Kerrigan to do something with his career. He's so good,
Oh,
but he's
good
just been on the
lord.
football team forever. And I don't know if going from the football team to the Jags is the right move, but I I want him to go there
Got a
just
lot of
because that
got a lot of
that
edge players on this
no,
team now.
that defense would be insane. I'd love it.
Yeah, there's about what, four guys playing outside linebacker for them now. We got four outside linebackers on the field now. We're playing a one. What are we playing? Like a it's not a
Yeah,
3-4
listen,
anymore.
did you hear what I said? I
It,
said the rotational
it's
guys.
it's nah. I like my idea better. It's like a 1-1-6 1-6-4. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Bring out the 1-6-4. No, who's the first guy you said though? Will Fuller. You know, the the idea with what I said with the receivers was that they needed to be like at a superstar level to make sure that they were ahead of the other guys that they already have that are talented wide receivers. And
You
I
don't know
just
if
don't
DJ Chark is ahead of Will Fuller. Yeah,
know. I don't know if Will Fuller is
a
ahead.
superstar.
I don't know if he's ahead of the other guys that are already on roster. Like, wouldn't he kind of just be mixing in one in the same? Like, I feel like the receivers I chose for them would be real upgrades, whereas
Well,
that one is just like you're
yeah,
kind of
I
adding a guy
wasn't.
that's the same skill level. So it's like, yes, it's good to have more depth, but I don't know if that signing makes as much sense as them spending the same amount of money at some other position that's weaker for them.
No, I agree. Uh, that
You
he
just
isn't a
think they're going to be
superstar.
stupid?
Yeah, the teams that have been not that they've been bad for a long time because they made it to the championship game in 2017, but teams with a lot of money sometimes make stupid decisions,
Yeah, you're
and
not wrong.
it's gonna be one of those things where maybe even the fans view it at the time. The Jags fans are like, "Oh wow, we signed Will Fuller. That's awesome. We get another receiver." But it's like, yeah, you got another guy that is on par or maybe even worse than DJ Chark,
Yeah. No.
and that's gonna be taking snaps away from Visca.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah. Okay, so we basically agree on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's gonna happen because he's the I don't want to say consensus, but he's probably the second best free agent wide receiver after Allen Robinson. And some team is going
Whoa,
to end up.
you really are a lot lower on Kenny Galladay than I am.
I saw that the Lions may franchise tag him, so that's why I'm not too.
Why would you not franchise tag a guy? Man, they just must push it. These teams just must want to try to get a deal like all the way up till the end. Franchise tag sucks, man. Franchise
Yeah,
tag shouldn't exist. That's stupid. That is so dumb. I can't believe that was ever a rule. They
yeah,
just had
that's
to
why
find
I'm
out.
not too high on Kenny Galladay. I didn't include him on my list because just I guess I already had it in my mind the preconceived notion that he was going to stay in Detroit if they franchise tag him.
Yeah, well, you're probably right. I freaking hate that. Oh well. You all set?
Yeah, I'm all set. Are you all set?
I'm all set.
Awesome. Uh, do we have an outro yet?
Nope.
Do you just want to cut it